Episode 1, Cymraeg. The Hysbys project is a collection of my findings about the creatures who reside in the shadows. From the Telewith Teg hidden in the fog of your Widfer, to the Storworm lurking in the murky depths of the North Sea. I don't know who will be listening to these, but if you are, remember. Case number 1085110489, the disappearance of Faye Jones in Willson on April 11th, 1989. The status of the case is currently unsolved, as always. The official close of the case is unknown, as Miss Jones had no next of kin, at least no one the police wanted to contact. Very little is known about Miss Jones. She grew up in Dudley in the West Midlands, where she was raised by her grandmother until she died in October 1984, when Faye was 16. From there is very little known about her until August 1988, when she managed to secure a council flat in Snowdonia. At 2 a.m. the day of her disappearance, it was heard by a neighbour that there was arguing till the door to the apartment slammed shut. It was a strangely cold night, -3. Through various CCTV, Miss Jones was seen walking towards the miners' track, muttering and acting a bit doolally-tap, according to Officer Stevenson. What we do know is that Miss Jones managed to complete the 6.54-kilometre trail, as her shoes and bags were found beside the summit. Blood, belonging to Miss Jones, covered it, dripping down the stone. Hikers reported the unusual sight, but due to the location, it took 48 hours for the area to be investigated properly. There was no body. The most important piece of evidence, and these incompetent, selfish pigs. I'm getting off topic. There is no body. Her shoes had the soles removed and her bag had been burned. Everything inside had been destroyed, except for a barely decipherable piece of her birth certificate. It showed the names of her mother, Sarah Jones, and her father, Hewitt Jones. Hewitt Jones was the convicted serial killer and paedophile, known for leaving his victims brutally mutilated, with their left eye gouged out by his bare hands, before they were dead. He was discovered dead in his cell on the 24th of April. His arms and legs were snapped cleanly, with his ribs crushed into each of his organs. His penis was sliced tip to base. Excuse me. Lastly, his left eye matched each one of his victims, torn from his skull by someone's bare hands. There was very little news coverage about the event. I don't think many people could spare the sympathy for the waste of oxygen known as Hewitt Jones. What's most interesting is that... What the hell are you doing here? Remember the Jones woman? Well, yes, that's why I'm recording now, before you... She's been found. Well, sort of. What do you mean? They found an elderly woman wandering the miners' track this morning. Dazed and confused, but physically fine, except for a lack of shoes. She was taken to the police station and her fingerprints matched Faye Jones. Did she say anything? Oh, Pistolith, I think, and Mine Nordod, I think. I don't know, my Welsh isn't great. Okay, thank you. You can leave now. This is most likely the work of the Tylwyth Teg or the fairy folk of Wales. They are known to marry humans with or without their consent, forcing them to the fairy realm, where time moves differently. This would explain the lack of a body and the rapid ageing of Miss Jones. Right, now, where was I? For fuck's sake, I'll deal with that later. The most interesting thing about Mr. Jones's death was on his cell wall, painted in his own blood, was the phrase "Mech Fac Daddy," which translates to Daddy's girl, with the soles of Faye Jones's shoes hanging from a piece of string with 3 of her fingers. If this elderly woman is Faye Jones, then we at least have a physical identification method. I believe that's it. Yes, I think it is. End of statement, recorded on the 31st of January 1998 at 6:47 p.m. It happened again? What does it look like? I often have a tendency of smashing my own window. Fine, there's no need to take it out on me. This has only started happening because you convinced me to record my findings. For the past month I've had to deal with creepy letters, strange looks at the supermarket, and now having my window smashed for the 4th fucking time, so forgive me for being a twat. You're right. You are being a twat.